today we'll talk about where GTA 5 story would go if Lamar was the one to repo the car from Michael's house. So firstly, I do think that Lamar would, unlike Franklin, go right into Michael's house, not giving a shit, and just steal the car. No stealth, nothing. And things with him and Michael would play out a bit differently because, well, it's Lamar. Michael would still make Lamar go through the dealership window, but I doubt that he would ever offer Lamar a drink, and let alone that Lamar would ever go to Michael's house, considering what he thought about Franklin hanging out with him in the original. So yeah, I don't think that even in this reality Lamar and Michael would have any kind of relationship, as Lamar and Franklin are very different people, and knowing Lamar, I just doubt that he would ever want to see Michael again, let alone ask him for advice. Franklin wouldn't get fired and would probably continue working for Simeon. He'd probably just be stuck in Chamberlain Hills, wouldn't be able to do much with his life, let alone make the money that he did in the original, or become the rich business type dude that we meet in GTA Online. He would probably just keep bouncing around between doing repo work and similar jobs and or dealing drugs or something, I don't know. The duo would probably still stay friends, but problems would arise for them when they would kidnap D of the Ballas, meaning that little meet with them, Stretch and D, would still happen and they would get set up and barely make it out of there. Unfortunately, things for them would go really bad in the Mission Hood Safari, as that's when the duo would get jumped by the Ballas, ripped off, and without Trevor there, they would be robbed just before being killed in the middle of Grove Street without anyone being able to do anything about it. Real quick though, if you're enjoying this video right now, please leave a like on it, subscribe to the YouTube channel. We're trying to get to 2,000 subscribers, and also check out my second Kingdom Hearts channel. That's going to be down in the description. What about Michael though? Well, I do still think that he'd probably go back to robbing and that he'd still pull down Madrazo's house. With Michael now back in the game, it's obvious that Trevor would soon after find him and they'd still get roped in with the FIB and everything would stay the same, just like in the original, just without Franklin, of course. This goes for missions like Blitz Play, all of the FIB work, the Merryweather heist, even the whole fallout with Martin Madrazo wouldn't really change. However, the mission Predator would never happen, likely as Franklin wouldn't be there to help Trevor track down the O'Neill brothers. However, shit would really go bad during the mission Fresh Meat. There wouldn't be anyone to save Michael, meaning that Michael would die a very bad death. Michael's family would likely have to leave Los Santos to the fear, as at this point they still haven't reconciled with him and they would have no idea what kind of shit he was into. And with all that's left of the crew being Trevor and Lester, the big one is off the table. And then Trevor and Lester would probably have a falling out because Lester would be mad at Trevor for letting Michael get killed and they would part ways. However, since there was no one to do the bureau raid, as well Michael's dead, Steve Haynes and Dave Norton would be fucked when the truth about Michael, Dave, and Trevor is revealed to the greater FIB. Steve and Dave would go to prison for a very long time and Trevor would have a bounty put on him. Lester would, upon finding this out, do his best to cover his tracks and Trevor would have to spend the rest of his life on the run, not only due to the feds looking for him, but also due to Merryweather and Wei Chang. All in all, I gotta say that going into this, I never expected things to change this much. This goes to show that while Franklin may not be the center of GTA 5's story, him not being in the picture makes things a lot worse for our main crew. Out of the bad guys, Steve and Dave, if you count Dave as a bad guy, go to prison. Stretch is just fine as he has no Lamar or Franklin in his way. Devin Weston wins and can do with the movie studio whatever the hell he wants, as is the case with a lot of my previous and likely future what ifs, and Wei Chang wins as Trevor is on the run and he can freely take over Blaine County as a market without Trevor in the picture. Although I do think that problems between him and the O'Neill brothers would arise sooner or later. With that said, I want to thank you for watching this GTA 5 what if. Leave your what if suggestions in the comments down below. Make sure that they're actually something that affects the story, and until the next video or stream, bye bye.